First of all, I have to say I'm honored to be here at Wellex IoT Open House today and be part of this exciting event honoring Intel and share with this audience my insight on the whatever secrets we all know and don't know, want to know about Silicon Valley, the features that make work and for over half a century. So the goal of what we do with Wellex, what we join efforts, is to bring back high-tech manufacturing to Bay Area to the extent where it used to be when Silicon Valley started. Because Silicon Valley started as the high-tech manufacturing back in the 50s, and now we're seeing that the wheel turned to the point where we're going to see it happening again. Well, this picture, which you probably saw quite a few times, shows us how busy the place we call Bay Area is and how many wonderful companies are around here. So, old companies, new companies, giant and small, all are working together to make this place very unique. And even though many countries of the world are trying to create their own version of new Silicon Valley, there is only one real one, and it's here. So I'll throw a few statistical data at you just to remind you what we represent. And even though we are just less than 1% of the US population, we create 5% of the national GDP here, 12% of all the US patents and IPOs, and up to 30% of all the US venture investments. So we're adding quite a substantial piece to the American pie. As I was forced to start my presentation with, we are a very multinational population here in the Bay Area. Overall, in the US, the percentage of foreign-born population is about 12%, right? And in California, it's much higher. It's about 27%. But here in Silicon Valley, it pushes 40%. And looking at this room, it's probably, 90% of foreign-born here, starting with me, right? Yeah, so, there is something about Silicon Valley that brought us all here, and I believe it's because we are, bright, talented people, and we wanted to find a place where our talent will be appreciated, and came here to achieve our dreams. And that's the platform we use to do this. Again, what brings us here, the issues like ability to create and scale companies, disruptive business models that are available to try on and create, a rapid path from design to implementation, and that's something that, again, I turn to Wellex IoT, and how important it is that this organization concentrates on helping startups doing exactly that. All of it creates a nurturing ecosystem which tolerates risk, which makes it workable. I brought this slide because it's wrong. Look at this. I mean, what's wrong with this picture? It shows concentration of startups all on the west side of the bay, north, south, everywhere, but doesn't show anything in the East Bay. Is it fair? It's unfair. It's not true. Let's make sure this map is corrected. Let's put our startups that so many are located here in the East Bay. They're properly on the map of Silicon Valley startups, not just Bay Area, but Silicon Valley, because we in the East Bay are legitimately a substantial part of what Silicon Valley is, and we should be recognized as such. Again, a little bit of statistics. I don't want to concentrate about it too much. It shows that despite all our efforts, manufacturing per se is declining year after year in the Bay Area. So again, it's important to recognize the effort that Wellex as an organization is putting into changing this trend. The city of Fremont is putting in its effort into changing this trend, and we at Silicon Valley Innovation Center are doing our best to help everybody involved in hardware business to change this trend, to bring more manufacturing, high-tech manufacturing, 21st century manufacturing back into the Bay Area where it rightly belongs. You know that they show you probably everywhere that Silicon Valley was developing in cycles. That it started in the right after the World War II with the defense industry, then microchips, PC, internet, smartphones, and now we are concentrating on something called IoT, which is a very broad umbrella of things covering practically everything. You think of artificial intelligence, it's necessary an element of IoT infrastructure. You talk about robotics, drones, as we talked earlier today, everything seems to find its place into this big IoT umbrella. When Wellex says that they provide support for IoT, it means that they provide support to all these related industries that make it work together. So this is a statement on the mission of Silicon Valley Innovation Center. I wouldn't read it, but it gives you the idea that we are trying to promote high tech and innovation and help both companies and individuals how to navigate Silicon Valley. And we provide educational programs, new product development and testing programs. We connect companies to knowledge and enterprise in Silicon Valley and help developing new business opportunities. I really don't want it to be like a sales. I have to put this slide on every presentation I make. Run through. That's something else that we did and how good we are and how many people we know. I'm proud to say that we are both partners of both Wellex and Intel for the centerpiece of today's event. And we work with a whole bunch of companies around here, and we'll be happy to help you get connected with any of them if you need that. Let's consider something that, in my part, is more important than what we claim to do. What problems you as startups might have that we should be trying helping you with. So, startups do fail. The statistics I'll touch later on show that probably 9 out of 10 startups don't make it all the way to high success. Why? Market problems, business model problems, management problems, team problems, right? Cash problems, product problems, all of it could be a reason why you fail. So our task is to help you understand that the problems do exist, help you see the problems early on, and if possible, help you mitigate or remove the problem out of your way so that you'll be successful. Not just as a startup, but as a production company that brings something of value to the people, to the customers. So again, what does it mean when they say that 9 out of 10 startups fail? Well, say about 30% just fail. It just doesn't work out. Like a couple of startups that I started, it didn't work out for whatever management reasons. Another 3 will be not very profitable, but surviving, making ends meet. Another 3 will be moderately successful, maybe not scaling as much as their investors would want, but they'll maybe bringing some positive return and, stay alive and active, maybe not ready to be acquired or going into IPO. But there'll be 1 out of 10, that's 10%, that will be hugely successful and bring the investors all the money they spent on other 9 back in a huge multiple. That's why all the VCs are so eager to look at anything that you invent in a hope that they'll see a next Google or Facebook in you. So, fortunately for hardware startups, there is this wonderful organization called Wellex, and they figured out how to use their resources in order to help hardware startups of various types to improve the chances of survival. They looked at the whole cycle, not just what we do with incubators and accelerators most of the time when we take them the early stage tricks, how to test the market, how to build a prototype, minimum viable product, all that sort of thing. But they went further than that along the way, and they help prepare the product for manufacturing, building series of workable prototypes, pilot production of say 300-500 pieces of your product, test the market with the real thing that people can actually use rather than just look at some kind of wireframe. And if you're successful in this and they help you be higher than average successful rate, then you have an option of going with them all the way to mass production through their overseas facilities. We do hope that alongside with this, Wellex will eventually increase its local production and have mass production available on the U.S. soil, and it's up to us to make it profitable. From idea to the market is the cycle that is being covered. As a contributor, Silicon Valley Innovation Center works on the, I would say, intellectual side of the equation, providing thought leadership, mentors and advisors like myself, and connected to global network, both on the input with the startups that are coming from all over the world to Silicon Valley to see what they can do here, and as well as outputs to see if there are markets overseas available for the products developed by US startups. And we use this integrated approach where everything is, every step is covered along the way, and all the needs of the startups are going to be envisioned and provided in a hope that we'll be able to double the success rate compared to the traditional 10%. And that's about it. I'll be happy to answer any questions if there are some, but if you don't want to do it now, you can always reach me later. Thank you.